Hi friends, please excuse how shitty I look. I have been having a really long, hard day. Should have probably taken a shower, but I didn't want to lose what little sunlight we have left. But hi, and welcome to whatever this is going to be. So welcome to the first of 4 reading challenges. They're all going to revolve around the same idea. And that is clearing my shelves. I have quite a few shelves full of books that I have collected over the years. Most of them are ARCs, but all of them have since been published because I am bad at ARCs. I went online to Twitter and Instagram and just asked all of my friends to pick a number 1 through 4. Today we are picking books off of shelf 3, which is my young adult fantasy collection. I have gone through and picked which 3 books I am going to be reading, and if you give me one quick second, I will show those off. The first one is going to be the shortest of them, and it's actually a poetry anthology, but it's called Voices, The Final Hours of Joan of Arc by David Elliott. I have seen this one around for a while. It was published March of last year, but it's a bunch of poetry telling the story of Joan of Arc. I admittedly am not that familiar with Joan of Arc or her story, so I am interested to dive in and learn a little bit more about her. Plus, some of them are like actually shaped really cool. Book 2 is Sky Without Stars, System Divine, Book 1 by Jessica Brody and Joanne Rendell. This apparently is Les Miserables in space, and from the looks of it, it feels like Les Miserables in space. I don't actually know that much about it, and I have not heard anything about it, which, given the fact that it came out last year, is either really good or really bad. It's right under 600 pages. Maybe I'll love it and get inspired to read Les Miserables. Maybe I'll hate it and burn it and never want to eat bread again. We'll see. Book number 3, this is Crown of Feathers by Nikki Pau-Preto. I've heard nothing but great things about this one. It's about 2 sisters who are trying to vie for the crown, I think, and it involves riding phoenixes. I try not to go into books knowing too much about them, because otherwise I figure out the plot about 10 pages in and spoil it all, and then I hate it. I do have this one as an audiobook on Scribd, as well as the PDF version so I can read it at work. These are my 3 choices for my Clear the Shelves challenge number 1, for shelf number 3, which is my sci-fi fantasy young adult ARCs that have already been published. So let's get to reading it. So I'm gonna go take a shower, put on some sweatpants, make some tea, and we'll go from there. She's a vicious monster. She really is. She'll attack you with hugs. So vicious. So vicious. She's gonna bite my finger and y'all are gonna laugh at me. Good morning. I did not record anything else last night, mostly because I curled up and fell asleep at like 8 o'clock. Today is Sunday, and I've got some plans to do some stuff with my dog. We're gonna go to the park and listen to some audiobooks. First, I'm going to work on getting through this. I want to get maybe a quarter to halfway through it before I do anything else today, so here we go. I also have Brooklyn Nine-Nine on in the background. Hey, again. I am about 102 pages into this, so I'm about halfway through it. I'm really liking it so far. It's definitely a unique way of telling a story. It's told all in poetry, which I think I mentioned before, but it's not just like from Joan's point of view, it's from the point of view of literally everything in her life, including like the clothes she wears, the sword she carries, the other people, and it's kind of like done in an interview format of sorts. I don't know if anybody's ever read like oral histories of something or Daisy Jones and the Six, but it's kind of very similar to that, only it's all in poetry. There is a lot of like words that make me kind of uncomfortable because there's a lot of talk of like sex basically, and some of the way things are described is just a little unnecessarily vulgar, I feel like. But overall, I'm liking it. It's definitely been a really short read. I think I last updated you guys about 20 minutes ago. There's a lot to unpack in this one. Now that I've read about half of it, I'm gonna go get dressed because I am still in my pajamas, and I might go make some food, and then we'll take Peach on an adventure. Alright, we're gonna go to the park for a little bit, listen to some good ebooks. I have the last half of Voices, which I found on Scribd, as well as Crown of Feathers, and if I'm feeling really bored with both of those, then I still have the last half of Children of Blood and Bone to work on too. So, here we go! Peach, you excited? Yeah, you excited? Hey guys, sorry for not vlogging a little bit more at the park. This one was a little on the crazy side, but we did finish Voices as an audiobook. Overall, I liked it. I did learn a little bit more about Joan of Arc, which was cool. A lot of the word choices in here did kind of make me a bit uncomfortable and make it feel very much like a man wrote this, and this was definitely one that worked better as a physical book versus an audio book. But overall, I gave it 3 stars, so I didn't hate it. Didn't necessarily love it, but I definitely didn't hate it. I figured I would give you guys an update on that. And a friend, sort of, I guess, texted me while I was at the park and just kind of killed my whole mood because we're fighting a bit right now over really stupid stuff. And it's just been really stressing me out, so I just came home and watched some YouTube videos instead. But I did have a really good time at the park with Peach, and hopefully what little video I got you guys did enjoy as well. But for the rest of the evening, or afternoon rather, since it's only around 4 o'clock, I think I'm going to make some popcorn, put on some more Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and just chill. Also, this is what was in my lap the entire time I was recording. I hope you guys don't mind. Boop the nose. Boop the snoop. Boop. Here, while I watch some Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I will attempt to start Crown of Feathers. We'll see. Like I said, my headspace is not the greatest right now. But maybe reading will help with that. Who knows? I'm only like 30 pages into this and I am already in love with it. Like, the world is already blowing my mind, and the fact that there's animal magic and talking about bonds with animals, and it's just I'm really excited to read more about the magic system. I love the sisterly dynamic in here and I can't wait to read where it goes. Also, this is like my favorite episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's the Christmas episode where they do a spoof off of Die Hard, and I don't know why I love this one so much, but it's like my favorite one. I have seen all of these way too many times, and so I'm like having a hard time deciding which gets my attention more, because I adore this episode and can almost quote it by heart, but I'm also loving Crown of Feathers. Also, too, my friend texted me again, and like, the whole thing is I want to meet in person to talk about things, and I have tried 2 or 3 times now to be like, hey, can we meet up on this day? And every single time they have blown me off, and I'm mad because they also go off on me all the time for choosing to text or call and talk about things that way, and it's just like, well, this is why. And the one time I actually tried to like do what you want, you can't get your act together, like, what the heck? And it's just so irritating because we have so much we need to talk about and I don't want to keep doing it over text. And I have told them this and they're just like, yeah, I'll make time for you. And I'm like, okay, cool, when? And they're like, soon. And I'm like, no, can you give me like an actual day? And they're like, soon. And I'm like, that's not helping. I'm gonna start crying because that's stressing me out so much. Oh my god. Help. Wow. This is the sort of zen I aspire to be in life. Now back to your regularly scheduled reading vlog. God, what is wrong with me? So good! So good! I really hope this book continues to be this good. Or otherwise, there's just gonna be one more thing that I want to cry about. Apparently the phoenix's name is Zephyra, which I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's how I'm saying it. And it reminds me a lot of Sapphira, and now I'm having crazy Aragon flashbacks. I seem to have lost my bookmark. I don't know where it went. I was gonna go make dinner, and I am confused as to where it went. It's like ridiculously nice outside, and I feel bad for not spending more time outside, minus like the 2 hours Peach and I were at the park today, but anxiety really fucks with you. I feel like this vlog is nothing but me bitching about how tired and sad I am all the time, and I'm sorry about that. My life really isn't all that bad. I am just doing way too much and have way too much going on with friends and stuff. My cure for sadness is to make rice in my rice cooker, throw some cheese on it, maybe throw in our last can of tuna, and eat dinner. Just kidding, I found a thing of spatzel in my cabinet that I think my parents gave me on Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm great at eating food, but I think I'm gonna eat this. Last time I tried to cook something, I ended up setting my kitchen on fire. It was a little fire, like 3-inch flames, no worries. So we're gonna try not to do that this time. She's going to make sure I don't set the place on fire. Right, Peach? So, good morning. It is now the next day. If you hear any yowling, it's because I'm taking the cats to the vet today, and they are not happy about it. I work at a vet clinic, and yeah, you can hear. They're not happy. And I feel very bad, and honestly, Nala is making me want to cry, but get your pets vaccinated, get your kids vaccinated. End of story. Hey, so I'm home now. I have been reading this all day and I am still absolutely loving it. I'm about 20 chapters into it. I don't know how much page countage has been read because I've been reading an ebook / listening to the audiobook on the way home. This book is wonderful. I'm really loving it. And I am very happy that I have done this Read the Shelf challenge. Hello, friends. It is the day after I took my cats to the vet. Sorry I didn't update you guys very much last night. I took a shower and then hung out with my roommate, then went to Target, and then fell asleep. Yeah, I'm a good adult. But I am about 90% of the way through Crown of Feathers. I am fucking loving it. Excuse my language. I will do a wrap up when I finish it. Probably tomorrow or like just at the end of this vlog to let you guys know what all I thought of it. But it is awesome. But I wanted to do a quick update. I'm on my way to the barn, so you guys will get to see Pippi here in a little bit. And I also found Sky Without Stars, my third book of this week. It's only Tuesday and I'm already on book number 3 of the week, and these have been some pretty lengthy books, or at least the one I'm reading now. So hopefully I managed to zip through that one as quickly as I'm zipping through this one. I'm gonna go drive now, so I will let you guys know as soon as I get to the barn. I'm going to attempt to do way too much, and y'all are probably gonna end up laughing at me. Well, I finished it. I gave it a 4.75 out of 5 stars, so on Goodreads, I rounded it up to about 5 stars. That's my pony, by the way. Say hi. But I really liked it overall. It was very imaginative, and I loved all of the characters. I thought they were very well done. They all struggled with life and went through their own things, but they, like, the overall message of the book was friendship. So the premise of the book was 15 years before the book started, there was this terrible war, and the Phoenix Riders all but disappeared because their leader rebelled against the crown and started this terrible war. All of the people who could use the magic that enables them to become Phoenix Riders, they're called animages, have been hunted down and either forced into servitude, taxed very, very heavily, or just straight up killed. And we follow 3 separate points of views. Veronica, who has a very, very controlling older sister who wants nothing more than to become a Phoenix Rider and find a Phoenix. Tristan, who's already a Phoenix Rider, who has a very, very controlling father, who has his reasons for being super controlling, but is overall kind of a jerk. And then we follow Sev, who really has nothing to do with anybody, or so you think, even though he technically has the magic that everybody else does, but he kind of rejects it kind of deal. Complaints with it, where I feel like the author wanted to write the book about all of the sisters, or like the war that happened beforehand, and not this actual book right away, because a good chunk of the book was written in flashbacks, like, which was cool at first, but after a while it was just kind of like, okay, especially when you added in the fact that all of the, like, most of the dialogue and world building revolved around this war that happened 16 years ago, and it just kept getting repetitive in the way she would describe things. And so I kind of knocked some points off for that. And the characters themselves were a little too well adjusted. Like, something bad would happen and they'd be like, okay, this bad thing happened, moving on. Overall, I really liked it. I loved the magic system. I loved the idea of like bonding with animals. Example A as to why I loved that. And I thought it was really creative. I felt like the fight scenes could have probably been written a little bit better, and I wish there had been more development between the main Phoenix and one of the main characters. But for a debut novel and for the first of a series, a lot of good stuff happened. So it's now a couple days later and I have not read anymore. I'm great at this whole vlogging thing, aren't I, guys? It's Saturday and I haven't decided if I'm just gonna DNF this Sky Without Stars one, because I'm about 3 or 4 chapters into it and I'm not loving it, and it's huge. And I've got a lot of other books that I want to get to this weekend. I don't know. I know I'm gonna like most of those, and I'd rather read those than work on something that I don't think I'm gonna like, even though that kind of defeats the purpose of this challenge. So, I'm on my way to work, but I will let you guys know what I decide when I get off work today. So, peace. Quick update, I have decided that I'm going to listen to Sky Without Stars and plow through some of the chores that I have to do. So, y'all are gonna come with me on all of those. So I really don't want to be doing work, even though I have a lot to do, so I'm taking the dog for a very, very long walk. But hey, I'm listening to books, so cool. Plus, she needs the exercise because she's crazy all the time. Well, I've made it to part 2 of like 5 million parts. I'm about a quarter of the way through it now, I think. So we'll see what happens. We're enjoying our walk. Yes. Come on. Good girl. I have about 1,001 things that I need to do, and instead I'm downloading a bunch of video editors so I can edit this vlog because I am total trash. Boop this one. You have officially been booped. Hello! I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this vlog now, and I want to go ahead and edit this. Also, there is a dog in the camera sitting in front of me. It's part of my Clear the Shelf challenge, which, given how long Sky Without Stars and Crown of Feathers were, I think I'm okay with how that worked out. So, to go over, I started Sky Without Stars and made about 150 pages into that. I'm enjoying it. I think it's a decent retelling, and it's definitely imaginative, but I just don't know if this is the story for me. And I will finish it. It might not be until like April, but I will finish it. the two books that I did finish were Voices by David Elliott, which I ended up giving a 3 out of 5 stars to, and I enjoyed that one. I thought it was very obviously written by a man and kind of not the greatest of ways, but I really liked the format of it, and I thought it was an interesting way to retell Joan of Arc. And then one of my all-time new favorite series, actually, Crown of Feathers by Nikki Palpretto. I loved the magic system, I loved the characters, I loved the unique idea about using phoenixes. Yes, there were some similarities between, like, the names, like Zephyra and Sapphira, but it didn't detract from the overall story, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, I'm going to leave this vlog here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and hopefully it didn't drag on forever. And let me know down in the comments below which books you have read, if any. And also pick a number 1 through 3 and we'll get started on next week's reading challenge. Until then, and until next video, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Go out and enjoy some sunshine and maybe read a book or two. I will see you guys soon. Bye!